I got here May 1st, 1962, and they were just starting to build Vail. They were constructing the lifts and cutting trails and building basic infrastructure, you know, the Bridge Street. There were a few houses under construction, maybe about 20. The first company I worked for, I had no experience in real estate, was Bishop Perry & Company. It was a great experience, met a lot of people, and you know, wouldn't do anything different if I had to do it today. In 1966, I decided that I would rather be on my own and have my own company, and I started what I then called Slifer & Company. And we became the broker for Vail Resorts. It was called Vail Associates then. And when Harry Frampton was appointed president of Vail Resorts, I not only had my business, but I was the mayor of Vail at the time. And so he and I, because of my position as mayor and his as president of Vail Resorts, became good friends. And he finally left Vail Associates, Vail Resorts, and started his own real estate development company with Mark Smith, and had gathered some very experienced brokers, primarily in Beaver Creek.
Mark and I had, we weren't satisfied with the job we were getting by Vail Resorts or Vail Associates Real Estate at the time. Vail Associates before us and before Mark had decided to sell Beaver Creek as better than Vail. And we didn't like that concept at all because Vail's a very special place.
We came up with the concept of the Vail Valley, and what we were trying to do is build down Valley off the Vail name.
And Mark ended up doing a real coup and getting people at Vail Associates Real Estate to kind of join our company, and that was a pretty cool start.
The idea was a small boutique brokerage firm. So I went and hired 8 people that I'd worked with before at Vail Associates.
And Mark did an extraordinary job of getting that core group together, and they have stayed with us throughout the years and really built a great foundation.
I was the sales manager of the 8 of them, and that lasted about 30 days. And Rod called and said, gee, we should merge.
Well, I always remember when Mark and Rod and I decided to merge the two firms, and I'd known Rod ever since I was at Vail Associates, and it was pretty exciting. I mean, he had a great reputation, and what Mark and I liked is that he just loved the sales process, and both of us did too.
And the guys from Apollo called, and Harry and I went to New York and sat down, and they said, why are we competing with each other? Let's put these firms together.
We sat down and on one sheet of paper kind of came up with the guidelines for putting the two firms together, and that was a great decision, both for Vail Associates, for Vail Resorts, and certainly now for Mark, Rod, and myself.
We put our two companies together, and we couldn't figure out the name, and we went round and round and round, and finally I just said, stop, I'm the oldest, my name's first. So we then settled on Slifer, Smith and Frampton.
But I think that move to, in essence, combining the efforts and trying to respect the great attributes of both resorts really helped to set a foundation, in essence, going forward.
In 1979, I moved from San Diego to Vail. Got involved in real estate, and that's when I met Harry Frampton. I got a call one day that he wanted to talk to me. He said, Flom, I want you to come down and meet with me. I got something to talk to you about. So I go down, I meet with Harry, and he says, you know, I want someone to run our real estate department. All the guys said that you're the guy we should talk to, that you already had your big company in California, and you could do this. That's how a great friendship and a great partnership started, and that was exciting.
You know, great moments. I always laugh about that incredible party at Garton's in Vail.
It was the only place big enough to have the whole group together at the time. And we had these hats that said Slifer, Smith and Frampton, Vail Associates Real Estate.
And nobody would wear the hats.
It was like going to the 5th grade dance. The girls were on one side and the boys were on the other side.
I think it was the most tense, worst party I've ever been to. We were trying so hard. That was pretty special.
One game changer in real estate, and I think it's been a game changer for Slifer, Smith and Frampton, is technology, how we use it, how we've developed it, and the money we've invested into it, because it is an important thing now.
When we first decided to get everybody to get personal computers, I remember that.
Trying to get everybody to use a computer was no small deal. I mean, to A, buy it, and 2, turn it on, and then 3, actually do something with it. I mean, there was some moments.
I remember working with David Hicks and Ted, who ran our IT department, and we started that process. And I remember telling all the salesmen that they had to have PCs, and they didn't like that at all. But good Lord, how far have we come now with Patina and that whole area?
I always say, well, the internet's going to change things. Well, it does change things.
A website like vailrealestate.com could even be more important, because just in that 2 or 3 years that passed, the handwriting was starting to be on the wall about how these websites could be important in real estate.
But we did it, and we started with 25 hits a month, and now we get 130 or 150,000.
And I think we get 1.2 million visitors a year to that website now. It's an incredible thing for Slifer, Smith and Frampton.
But it hasn't changed the core business. It's still about service. It's about helping people find what they want.
The thing that really excites me is it's our team. Our sales team, our marketing department, everybody is really excited about what they do. Our sales team that are working with the buyers and sellers every day, they really care about those people.
It's a group that really cares, that it's a career, it's something they look at as a long-term thing. They're very successful. They're some of the most successful people in the country.
We couldn't do it without all of our brokers and with all of our staff, but we all loved doing what we're doing and love being involved in the greater community.
You got a group of people that care about where they are and are involved in the community and have been here and have raised their families here.
But I think people like being a part of a firm that has and will continue to make a difference in making Vail a very, very special community. One of the things that Jim Flom and team and Rod and Mark and I worked really hard on is to bring a lot of young people in. But the great news is we've got such a great cadre of new people, and ultimately the success of the firm is all about the salespeople.
It's like I'm the quarterback of an incredible championship Super Bowl team, and I get to quarterback it every day.
We've grown over the years. We have 17 locations now, 17 offices. We're not only in Vail Valley and Eagle Valley all the way down to Eagle, but we're also in Summit County in the Breckinridge, Keystone area. And the grand total is, somewhere in the range of 130 brokers between those two areas.
It's a special market and a special group of people in a special place.
I think when I look back at all the things that excite me about Slifer, Smith and Frampton, it's just the care that our salespeople / brokers use with the buyers and sellers. We always want to say we focus on our core business, doing the general brokerage, putting buyers and sellers together in the right properties, and that's what we want to keep doing. When I picture the 33 years I've been here, and I think about what's happened, and if I think of another 10 or 15 years ahead, it's just incredible what Vail's become.
None of us really anticipated the growth that we've seen in Vail and how it developed from a ski resort to a real community.
As that grows and just becomes even better and better, we keep getting prospects and our company grows.
I think the future's bright, and I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I don't think there's any limits.
Well, as we look to the future, I just think we've got a great foundation.
I think it can continue for another 50 years.
I think the future of our company rides right along with the future of the Vail Valley and Summit County.
And 50 years is, in time isn't a very long time, but I've been fortunate to have been involved all that time and look forward to where it's going in the future.